Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new here. Today I'm going to show you a few of the Brazilian covers that were changed from the original cover. This video is all about the book covers. Some of these books I don't even know what they're about, but I've heard about it on BookTube. So we're not going to talk about the plot. I don't care what the plot is. I just know that there are books that a lot of people have read and they seem interesting, but they had very big changes in their covers. I'm only going to talk about some fantasy and sci-fi, but if you like this idea and if you want me to do a part 2 of this video with other genres or even more fantasy and sci-fi, please leave a comment and let me know. Like this video and subscribe to my channel so I will know that you like this type of content and I will keep creating this type of content. Because there are a lot more covers that I could include here, I just had to stop somewhere. I know that these books, and even in the original cover, they have like a hardcover and a paperback cover or a US, UK edition. I just picked some that are most seen around and most well known, and I'm just gonna compare it to the Brazilian ones. I'm not going to go into classics or public domain books because then you get a whole variety of book covers. I can do that type of video also if you're interested, because there are some gorgeous covers that were done in Brazil for classics. But I'm focusing here on more current, newer books. The first book is The Last Namsara, and then we have The Caged Queen and The Sky Weaver. And I love these US editions. They're so shiny. They're so pretty. I really like it. I usually don't like when you have people in the cover, but for this ones, I think they did an amazing job. The last one, I like a little bit less because you have more of the woman's face than the other two. I think the other two are more mysterious and much more interesting, but they all fit together so well and I really like how they look. The Brazilian editions, when they first announced the first book in the series, I didn't even know that it was the same book. First of all, because they changed the title. That happens a lot with translated books. So The Last Namsara became The Dragon Hunter. I don't know, I didn't like this cover so much when I first saw it. There are some details there that you can see in the hearts of the dragons, but it didn't catch my attention so much. But when I saw the whole trilogy together, all the 3 books, they must look so pretty on a bookshelf. I really like the colors that they chose. The third one, the blue one, I think it's much more muted than it's showing in this image, but I love it. I think the combination of colors is very unique and the illustrations just look amazing together. So for this one, I don't know which one I prefer. I really like the original ones and I really like the Brazilian ones. I'm very conflicted. I would want to have both. The next one is a Traitor's Kiss trilogy by Erin Beatty. The original covers have elements in them, like the major element in the cover is very generic. We have a sword, we have a crown, we have a chalice. Those are generic, but the flowers all around them are very unique. At least for me, I think they are very unique covers. And again, the colors that they chose here, so different than what we usually see. I don't know what the spine looks like, but I'm sure they look very pretty together. I like how they changed the type of flowers that are in each cover. I do think it looks great. The one thing that I don't like about these covers is how the title is separate from the drawing. It's like the flowers and the whole illustration is occupying a square space in the cover, and then we have the title on the top separate from it, and I think it could have been better incorporated. But the Brazilian editions, I don't know how I feel about them. I think they make the book look so much younger. I don't know what the age of the characters are. If it's a young adult, new adult, I don't know, but I know that these covers make it look much younger. And I don't know why, because the illustrated characters in the covers are not teenagers, but just the type of drawing maybe. The flag with the first word. Here they didn't change the titles so much. It does mean The Traitor's Kiss, the title of the first book, but with the sword being the T. I think that was a very cool typography choice with having the sword and the T, but with the flag on the top, I don't know, maybe that's why it feels a little bit young for me. But I do love the silhouettes. I think they tell a much better story than the original covers, and I love the colors of the last book. I think the first and the second book, they could have gone a little bit further with the green and with the blue, make it pop a little bit more to contrast more with the green, with the orange and the red. But the last one, I think they did perfectly with the yellow and the purple. all those contrasting colors, I think they do look amazing together. And overall, I think they're more unique than the original covers. So as much as I think that the Brazilian covers look younger, I do think if I had to choose, I would choose the Brazilian covers because they're more unique. I like the combination of colors and they tell a better story than the original covers. And now we're going to talk a book that's also a series, I think, but we're just going to focus on the first book, and that is Wolf by Ryan Groudon.
My name's Ryan Groudon.
It's Wolf by Ryan Groudon. I know that this book is a little bit of like a alternative history about what if Hitler won the war or something like that, but it's also a fantasy. So I really like the original cover because it gives that sense of war and that time period when World War II happened. We have the map in the back, and that font I think really tells that story. And also we have a woman, I think it's a woman riding a motorcycle, and her shadow is a wolf. And that's really cool. I like the font of the author's name. I like how the title of the book is incorporated and the drawing with colors at least. The Brazilian cover is so different, but it's also so cool. It just has a bunch of wolves in it. We have this orange in the background that I don't know what that was supposed to be, if it's blood or if it's maybe the map, I don't know. But it's very different and it's very intriguing, but it feels like it's a completely different story for me. It feels the way that they use the font in the title, for me that looks a little bit fairy tale like. I don't know if that's just me, but that font that they used, it looks like fairy tales to me, and that's not what the book is. As far as I know, I haven't read it. And also I do think that the name of the author could have been better incorporated. And this cover, it just left a black space in it to put the name of the other author. So that I didn't like so much. And also in Brazil, usually the publisher puts their name very prominent in the cover, which is unnecessary, I think. But I know the publishing industry is suffering a lot in Brazil, so if putting the publisher name in the cover makes you recognize a book that you might like because you like the publisher, that's a good idea, I don't know, a good strategy. But ignoring that, I think this cover is really cool. I just don't know that it conveys the story of this book. Maybe it does. You tell me if you have read this book. So thinking about the story of the book, I think I would prefer the original cover more, but I do like all the bunch of wolves in the Brazilian cover. The next one I'm going to talk about is Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero. And this is basically a Scooby-Doo story for adults. And I have one copy of this book in Portuguese, which is this one. It doesn't look like anything. I've mentioned this before in my Brazilian haul that this publisher started doing a book box where they would send a brand new book like 45 days at least before release date, and they would all look like this with different colors, so they would look pretty in the bookshelf. But that's not the cover that I want to talk about. I want to talk about the cover that they actually published the book in. The original cover looks very like Scooby-Doo, and again, it looks young for me. I would give this book to children if I didn't know better. I think it's an adult book. I started reading it, but I didn't finish. But I'm pretty sure the story is like these children happened something in a mysterious house or something, and now they're adults and they're going through that again. So I think it's an adult book, and this original cover looks very, very young. And the Brazilian cover, it's just amazing. I really love what they did here because it looks very 80s and it does look like Scooby-Doo in a twisted way. We have the dog, we have the characters, we have a ghost in there. We have this purple and this tentacles, and they're much more gory and gross than the original cover. So definitely for this one, 100% I prefer the Brazilian edition. There's so much detail in this image. I'm gonna put in a bigger image here for you to look at it. There's so much detail that they put into this illustration. We have the house in the back. The only thing that I think could have been better if it was a little bit bigger, a little bit zoomed in, because in the whole left side of the cover, it's a little bit blank. So we could have put it a bit bigger, but either way, overall, I do love this so much more. And also they changed the title. And the title of the original one, Meddling Kids, does sound young. And the title that they changed was The Case of the Deep Owen Mansion, which is more intriguing, more mysterious. And it doesn't say a lot of what the book is about. I think Meddling Kids, we can expect a little bit more of it than just the case of the Deep Owen Mansion. But if they wanted to make it more adult, I think changing the title definitely helped. The next one is Furthermore by Tahara Mafi. This is one of my favorite books of all time. I read it in Portuguese and I don't have it here with me. It's in Brazil, but the Brazilian edition is one of my favorite covers of all time. But the Brazilian edition of the sequel of the book, I really don't like it. So this is what the original one looks like. They really fit together. I think they're different enough, but you can still see the similarities and you can still see that they're part of one story. It does look like it was designed by the same artist, and both are whimsical, both really translate what the story is like. So like I said, the first book in Portuguese, they changed the name also. Furthermore, the translation would be Beyond Magic or something like that. And they hired a specific artist to make the first cover, the cover of the first book. And I just love her artwork. That's why it's one of my favorites, because I do love her style. I think she created a character that's very whimsical and it's very like what she does, what she designs. And I love the pink. I don't know, it's so pretty. I'm going to link her Instagram in the description if you want to follow her, because all her artwork is like that. I have a graphic novel that she wrote also and illustrated. Yeah, not here, it's in Brazil because I already read it. But I do love her art style. But the second book, they didn't hire the same artist. So it looks like a completely different cover. It looks like it's not the same series. It's not the same author even. And it might be just because I don't like this art style so much, or because I wish they would fit better with the first book. But for me, it feels like it was a little bit rushed. It does not match the first book. I don't have the second one in Portuguese and I don't even want it. I have the second one in English. But when you look like the yellow banner that you have in the first book and the second one looks simpler and, like I said, a little bit rushed. I feel like the pose that the woman is doing in the image is also not, it's not all there. I feel like it's lacking. I think they could have, it's okay if it's just a different art style, completely different art style, but I don't know. I think it needed more. I think it needed more time, more care into making this image. Then it would have looked amazing, but I just don't like the way that it looks. So definitely I would choose the first book in the Brazilian edition and the second book in the original edition. The next one is a book that has a lot of different covers, especially now that it is a TV show. We have also the TV show covers, so there's a lot, but there's one specific Brazilian edition that I wanted to show you guys, so that's why I put it here in this list, and that is The Man in the High Castle by Philip K. Dick. Like I said, in the original, they have so many original like English editions of it. I'm gonna put some in the screen, and they're cool. I like them. I don't have a lot to say about them, and even in Brazil there are a few different editions. I have this one, which it's cool. It doesn't even have the name in the cover. It has name here, and I do love how it looks. They have all of his books in this type of cover, so they do look great together. But I recently saw this cover for this book, and I think it's perfect. I think it's creepy, and it makes me so much more intrigued to read it. This, like Wolf by Wolf, it's also an alternate history about what if Hitler won the war. I think it's something like that for both of them. And this cover just gives the exact creepy vibe that we need for this type of story. I think this might be my favorite cover change or cover design from the ones that I'm showing you, because it just makes me want to read it, but also makes me so scared of this book. I feel like this whole family could murder me in my sleep. And maybe that's the vibe that they were going for. This is so creepy, so cool. I love what they did here. So definitely my favorite one from the Man in the High Castle editions is this specific Brazilian edition. Next one I want to show you is the Reckoner's Trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. Steelheart, Firefight, and Calamity. The original covers, I don't think they say a lot. I like the colors, and they really are very detailed, but I feel like they don't change enough from one to the other. Of course, they look great together. It is a cohesive look with the three of them together, but I wanted more. I don't know what the story is about just by looking at these covers. But the Brazilian edition tells exactly what the story is about. I love the superhero feel that they gave to all these covers. You know exactly what to expect, what characters to expect in the story, and I think that's amazing. The only thing that I didn't like is how they changed the font of the title from one book to the other because it makes it a little bit less cohesive. But the last book, those colors, I think they're amazing. And I just want to meet these characters. I think that these covers highlight the characters so well. And if the idea is to have a superhero-like story, I do like having the characters in the cover. I like that they at least kept the name of the author in the bottom and all the same, so it does make it cohesive. But the title where it says like which book in the series it is, two of them are in the top and one is in the middle, so like why not put them all in the same spot? But other than that, I think it's amazing and definitely my favorite version of this book covers. The last one I want to mention, it's not even to compare. Like I said, I wasn't going to talk about classics because they have way too many editions to go through. So I just want to show you one of the editions that one of the publishers did in Brazil for 2001 by Arthur C. Clarke. I have this book. It was a special crowdfunding edition that they made for it for special anniversary of the book. And I have it. We didn't bring it with us the last time we went to Brazil. It was one that we wanted to bring, but they created a whole package that comes with a bone. Of course, not a real bone, but like it looks so realistic that we were afraid of being stopped at customs with a bone and having to explain ourselves about why we had a book that came with a bone. But I think the art that they did with this book, they made it as so the proportion of the book is exactly the proportion of the monolith from the story. And again, it comes in this box and it comes with a bone. But when I bring it, I will do a book haul for it and show you guys because I think it's so much fun. So this isn't even about the book cover, it's just the whole package because I thought it was fun and I wanted to include it here. Let me know what was your favorite cover change from the Brazilian ones and what was the one that you disliked the most, because I really would love to know. And like I said, if you want to see a part 2 of this, please leave a comment and letting me know, and subscribe to my channel because I will know that you like this type of content. And remember to like this video as well. I hope you enjoyed it. It was really fun to talk about all these cover changes. So thank you so much for joining me today.